I know it's a small sample size, but the few games they've had Kyle Korver, do you have an idea of sort of how he changes the equation a little bit, him being sort of the new face from post of the Christmas game?
Yeah, it's a little different look. They they run him off screens. They run some of the stuff that Atlanta used to run for him, and you have to pay close attention to him because he's a great shooter.
3 days been like, I mean, it's so rare to get 3 off days at home.
It's been nice, really. Yesterday we had our first real practice in a while in terms of actually scrimmaging and getting some live work, and we got some good work in today, and it's been a nice stretch of home games, and we feel good and ready to roll for tomorrow.
Do you feel like we've gotten this season?
Oh, I don't know, less than 10, and that's probably the case for most teams. There's so many games, and it's hard to go live when you got guys playing big minutes and guys nicked up and everything else. So that's rare when you get a chance to scrimmage. So you got to take advantage of it.
In the past, do you feel like your teams come out or better after maybe 2 days?
Yeah. I think we're usually sharper after a couple of days like this. So hopefully that'll be the case tomorrow.
It's mid-January, but I mean, all of us anticipate this game tomorrow, and I'm guessing you guys do too, especially given that Christmas Day game is pretty fresh still, isn't it?
Yeah. It was only three weeks ago.
How do you feel going into this one on the magnitude of a game, even though it's January?
Well, we've got perspective on it. It's a good gauge for us. Obviously, it's a great rivalry, and we're looking forward to the game, just like I'm sure they are. What it means long term, probably not a whole lot, but it's a good matchup and a team that beat us last year in the finals. So yeah, it means something.
Steve, obviously you're really familiar with what LeBron brings at this point, but do you lean on Mike Brown at all when you're game planning for the Cavs? Given
Sure.
that you coach?
Yeah, I mean, it's Mike's team for a reason. It's his scout. We divided our scouting reports between our assistant coaches, and we put Mike on it on purpose because of his experience there. So Mike's got a good feel for their team and for LeBron, and we'll listen to him and put our game plan in place and go from there.
It seems like Damian Jones had a little bit of a breakthrough during this last D-League stint. What do you think of his progress?
Yeah, he's playing with more confidence, playing with more energy. It's been good for him, I think, to be down there for an extended period of time to get his legs underneath him.
Generally, what effects can guys who are like 13th, 14th, 15th man have on a team chemistry? Can it go either way?
Yeah, I think team chemistry is kind of determined by your top 2 players and your bottom few players, on the totem pole. There's usually, on most teams, a pretty good pecking order, and you know who's leading the team, and obviously their leadership is critical. But there's always stuff that can go either way during the season. Players can kind of fall from one side of the fence to the other, and oftentimes it's the last few guys on the roster who determine where those players fall. So that's one of the reasons I love having McAdoo and Anderson Varejao, even though they don't play a whole lot. Ian Clark, although Ian is playing much more this year. Those guys are really a big part of our fiber and who we are, and very important.
Steve, you played on a team that sometimes for some of us watching felt like you had a 10-point edge just from walking into the building. Is that us watching that feels like the mental gamesmanship aspect is real, or is it real if you're a player?
The Bulls back in the day?
Just when you were playing and then also now for teams now, I mean, is that mental gamesmanship, you're in someone's head, you're not in someone's head, the mental aspect of, oh God, it's Michael Jordan and these guys and this team is so tough. Is that real for players?
It's real. I think it's real. Depending on the team and the players and the personalities, I think that can be a factor, but I don't give it a whole lot of thought. It's something that you got to show up and just compete. And
Is that something you have to manage as a coach?
not with this team. I think our team is very confident, regardless of who we're playing, and it's it's a good thing as long as we're locked in and ready to roll. Man, that was easy. I was expecting all these hard questions.
Who are you rooting for? The Cowboys or the Packers? See, I stumped you.
Yeah, I have no idea. Hadn't thought about it.
I got a question for you, and you probably heard this before I came over, but you talk about ball security and just taking care of the ball and how important, how crucial that is to you guys playing at the top of your game. But how do you find the balance between that and also maintaining the joy, the flair that kind of comes with what these guys do on the court?
Reminders that the flair comes out of the simple. It really does. If we make 6 easy passes, simple passes in a possession, usually somebody gets open and there's a back cut and there's a layup or a lob or a three-pointer, and the crowd goes nuts and people love it. When they try to force the action on that stuff, it's usually a turnover, and there's not much joy in a turnover. So that's the way I look at it.
So basically you're saying if you do the things that make the game easy, you'll benefit.
The simple leads to the spectacular. That's one of my pet sayings, and that's it's always a balance with this team. The last couple of years, we are a little loose. It's part of who we are, and I accept that and I embrace it. But know when to draw the line and understand that part of what's going to make a special play is just 4 or 5 simple actions to start the play itself. And it's when we just keep it simple, it's amazing how many fun, exciting plays come out of that. And it's kind of it sounds like an oxymoron, but it's the truth, especially with our guys, because they have a lot of skill. They keep it simple, make the defense react 3 or 4 times. Somebody's got a chance to do something special, but they don't have to try hard to do it. They just got to be solid to make it happen.